Hello everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Ron's Live Web TV. And based on your request, this week I'm going to discuss what prospects to select to make all cash deals on, because this is a bargain bonanza out there, and I'm telling you, I'm making offers on properties that are bank owned as fast as I can go, and I hope you're doing the same thing. Now, I will tell you that most of the properties you're going to pay all cash for right now are going to be bank owned. I used to call them the ugly house business, but they're not so ugly anymore. I'm buying properties that need very little work on them, so I'm kind of afraid to call it the ugly house business because you might actually think they're ugly. But let me tell you what I use to select them with, and frankly, I've been doing this for a long time, and my selection criteria has changed very little from the very beginning days when we was doing it back in the 80s all the way up to now. Now my numbers certainly have changed, but not really my selection criteria. So let me go down the list here, and I'll just show you what we do. Number one, and the number one most important selection criteria is, I don't care if it comes from the MLS system, if I'm going to an auction, if I'm attending an online auction, if I'm buying at the courthouse steps, or if I'm buying at a tax deed sale, which are kind of where I'm getting my junkers from right now. I'm always looking for the difference between the gap from the ARV and the asking when applicable. Now, of course, if I'm buying at a auction, there is no asking. There's only a minimum bid, so the asking is kind of irrelevant. But if I'm buying out of the MLS, it is totally relevant. So what I'm looking for are properties that are listed well below what I know the ARV to be. And incidentally, if you need help figuring out what the ARV is, go back and watch my recent lesson on how to determine the market value of a house, because that is something you're going to have to be able to do to be able to make an offer on a house. It's not difficult, plenty of websites to help you do it, but it is something you have to be able to do. So I'm looking for properties, and let's say I'm in a neighborhood and I'm making offers in that particular neighborhood. I find out what I think the ARV is of anything that's on the market. So I'll tell you, let me skip down here a little bit, because the first thing that I do, and this is what we do here every day, is I pick the properties that are listed in the zip codes that I want to work.